The thing I love most about this community is, well, generally just the community. I love interacting with other Goosebumps fans and seeing what they have to say about the movies, the TV shows, and the books. And today we're looking at books. Reviews for them on Goodreads. Yeah, to say I decided to get lazy and I made people make the content for me, and I'll just share my thoughts on some reviews. Controversial I have picked on Goodreads, what I found for, well, controversial books, some loved books, and some hated books overall. So yeah, I don't have a lot to say getting into this video. This is just an idea that popped in my head because I wanted to continue this reading review series that I planned to had started a year ago. Yes, a year ago, I'm not kidding. About a year ago, I made a video where I read reviews for the Goosebumps movie, which I thought was a fun video, so I decided to make a follow-up for Goosebumps 2. Never happened, but maybe in the future, maybe this Halloween, I might get around to it. But yeah, we're gonna continue with our book video, where we read reviews for Goosebumps books. Yeah, pretty simple. So yeah, without further ado, let's just dive in. Spoilers ahead! Real quickly, I want to say that some books will have more reviews than others. Some will just talk about one review, some will talk about a couple, and I'll be reading them to you. Starting off with this one of Beware the Snowman. This one's by Zoe De Leon, a pretty cool person that I know. It is 2 stars. It's a well played out story. It was atmospheric and the setting was cool. Aside from all that, it's nothing special. The twist reveal I think was funny, and it was literally the reveal of The Empire Strikes Back. The first 2 dialogues the reveal is an exact copy of it. But no, after the cry gives it away. I'm glad at least the snowman is not literally the father and it was just a manipulation tactic. So there's that to it. Aside from that, it's a forgettable entry. I don't really feel like this book is forgettable, and in fact I think this is one of the more memorable books, at least when it comes to the major plot beats, especially the climax. I remember the ending very vividly, I remember the entire climax and the mystery very vividly. And the build-up is quite, memorable for me. But it is interesting to see other people's takes, and it's the whole point of the video. And yes, that is a very interesting reference to The Empire Strikes Back. I have never seen Star Wars, it's never interested me, but even I know that. And I thought it was pretty funny, since I think it also came out around the same time. So, yeah, that's just very meta. Next up, we have a review for A Night in Terror Tower by Christopher. 3 stars. One of Stine's weaker efforts. The twist is too obvious with this one. An enjoyable read, though, and a rare UK set story in the Goosebumps collection. Now, this one I feel is one of the more powerful Goosebumps stories, and I chose specifically reviews that kind of had conflicting opinions. Of course, I'm not going to be negative to them because it is an opinion, but like, this is one that I strongly disagree with. And I think a lot of people could. This is one of the more controversial opinions. Night in Terror Tower is obviously supposed to be a more larger story in terms of, like, plot. There's a lot to take in with the major reveals in, like, the third of the book. And with the whole going back in time to the first thing, I'm just joking. It's really interesting and very thought out, I feel. I don't think it is weak at all in terms of effortfulness put into the story. And also the twist, I feel like it could be obvious. I can see people like going, oh, they must be from the past or something. Not directly, of course. It's possible to predict that the guy chasing the book is the executioner and he has magic stones that'll bring you from the past to the future and the future to the past because they're ancient princes and queens. You get the point. It's really hard to predict that, but the basic idea is that these guys aren't from this time period and them forgetting everything going on, like these fake memories. It is kind of predictable. I can get that. But for me, and probably a lot of other people, did not see that coming. Next up, a review for Monster Free by Michelle. 4 stars. You know, I don't get why the parents don't care how often Evan gets beat up as consistently as he does. Now, this is something that a lot of people have noticed in Monster Free before specifically, and it's even a little present in 2, and of course, I will relate to Monster 1 in a second. There are annoying characters. There you go. Andy's not very liked. Kermit's fucking devouredly hated. Everybody hates Kermit, even I do. And then there's Conan, which is a typical bully character, only he is the bully of all bullies. Disney Channel gonna beat the shit out of you, bully. Yeah, the case for this, I think, is that it's just reality. A lot of people, if you were beaten up by this big bully, and this little kid who was with you said, He was the one who wanted to start a fight with Conan. That's what Kermit says a lot. He's trying to, get beef with Conan. Evan. It's just likely that parents and adults are just more likely to believe that kid than the older kid, especially when it happens so often. And that's just the sad truth of it. It's one of the things I don't like about the Monster Book books, and it's pretty bad here.
A wish is a powerful thing, and often in the moment, it seems a relief. But what if temporary relief comes permanent pain and torment? There is a power at work that the human psyche just can't comprehend, and while in the moment, it seems what we want, it quickly backfires, and what is done can't always be undone.
Okay. And here's a lovely one-star review for Be Careful What You Wish For from this chap named Brianna. Brianna or Brenna? I don't know. Jennifer's a big fat bitch who makes me mad. Alright, chill the fuck out. Next up, a 3-star review from Austin, which is actually Monster Blood here on YouTube for Are You Terrified Yet? ? Reminds me a lot of You Can't Scare Me from the original Goosebumps series. Not a bad Goosebumps book, but not great either. It's a formula/plot that has been done many times before, like every Goosebumps book, but this one less so than others, so it is a little bit fresh. No monsters or supernatural entities in this book, just some kids trying to scare each other in this quick fun read. Yep, this is a review that I can get behind. I think this book is pretty darn fun for being a pretty basic Goosebumps story overall, minus the fact that it does not use any actual monsters. The closest thing we get are spiders that you see on the cover, and of course kids in costumes. This is a spoiler video. I really like this book. I think I'd rate it higher, which is basically the only difference. And yeah, it is very similar to You Can't Scare Me, admittedly, only better. Here's our only Give Yourself Goosebumps review of Zapped in Space. This is a name I can't pronounce. 2 stars. I don't like the concept of give yourself goosebumps! It ended within 5 minutes. I got trapped on a cockroach planet, which was good. It should have been a bit longer. I reread it by choosing the other game, but that too ended early. I decided to pick this one because they didn't actually read the entire book, and I thought that was kind of goofy, but yeah. Very interesting review. I like how they capitalized the entire word goosebumps for some reason. And it could have been a bit longer if you actually read more, dude. Here's by far my favorite one from Michael Goosebumps fan for Monsters at Midnight. 1 star. Lambert and IDW cannot resist putting a gay couple in this book, nor could they keep themselves from filling every good guy role with nothing but women. Fucking stupid cucks ruin everything I like. This is public, guys. This is a real review that you can go find on Goodreads. First of all, they're not a gay couple. I have read this very recently, too, only a couple months back. And yeah, they're sisters, as you'll see in a minute when I clarify it. And, second of all, I can kind of get that it might be an issue if they're women as the main characters, because I believe IDW, the publishing company, it's a trope for them to do that, like, every comic they make. So I can kind of get that issue, but still, I don't think it is that big a deal. But calling them lovers is really weird, because they're literally sisters. But yeah, fine to hate the book, but really weird to say that there's incest. As an added bonus, here's the comment section. Douglas says, I totally understand where you're coming from. Without a strong masculine character in your life, you quickly turned into a whiny child. He's basically calling Michael sexist, which is obviously not true. Michael replies, do I smell soy in the September air? And there's me clarifying that they're sisters. Love you, Michael. This is the fucking funniest shit I've ever read. Next up, a review for Egg Monsters from Mars, my favorite book, from this man named Henry. 2 stars. I don't know. This one was maybe a little too comical. The whole concept that these scrambled egg creatures fell from Mars and hatch is just kind of absurd, even for a children's books. Dude, is this your first time ever even reading Goosebumps, let alone hearing of kids' horror or sci-fi or anything of the sort? Because let me tell you, there are way weirder books. And basically every Goosebumps book, well, not every, but a lot of Goosebumps books are very absurd. I mean, fucking book 1, a town full of zombies that somehow is still around and nobody figured out their secrets. I'm like, no pass-byers said, oh, terrible zombies. Yeah, dude, read more Goosebumps, no offense, but yeah. Next up, we have some Stay Out of the Basement reviews, starting with this one from Harvey. 3 stars.
Nothing could be more attractive than Daddy's deep, dirty secrets down in the basements. What the fuck?
Next up, here's a review from Jennifer. 1 star. I love the Goosebumps books, but this one is so boring. It drags on and on about nothing right up until the end. Now, I can kind of agree. Whilst there is a lot of build-up, and that's just coming down to taste and personal preference, if you like that build-up, there is stuff going on, and there's teases towards what's going on down in the basement. And whilst I do agree that it is kind of boring in terms of its pace, because the pace is very slow, and that's my only issue with that book, yeah, there is actually a lot happening, I feel. But I get their points. Now on to a modern, Dr. Maniac vs. Rowley Shorts. This review is by Josh. 2 stars. This is one of the worst Goosebumps books I've ever read, and I'm a huge fan. This one I listened to the audiobook some, and read some, and I don't know if that helped or hurt because the audiobook was so cringe. I almost broke my phone. This book's so annoying and made absolutely no sense. Kids had the ice skate without stopping. Oh, the horror! And Dr. Maniac and his catchphrase are the worst thing ever. You'd have to be crazy to like this book. Or a maniac. Ooh. Guess that makes me a maniac, because this is one of my personal guilty pleasures in Goosebumps. Watch my review if you haven't. Now, I can kind of get a lot, especially the audiobooks, which is why I included this one specifically. The audiobook is very cringe, but I want to admit that I do like Dr. Maniac's voice in the audiobook a great deal, and I do enjoy it to some extent. It is a cringe audiobook, and as well as his catchphrase, yeah, that is very much going to be cringe for a lot of people, but yeah, I really do get the hate for that one. It's kind of just one of the most absurd Goosebumps books, especially for the modern era, but yeah, I think it's overhated, but I get this guy's points. Next up, we have a review for Ghosts in the Mirror. This one is by Micah, I think that's how you pronounce it. 3 stars. This one was more spooky than some other Goosebumps books in the series, in my opinion. The monster here has purple teeth and a long red tongue. Very scary. The ending was also good and detailed. I was just wondering about the ending. What was the meaning of the snake? Didn't quite get that. And the finale is usually my favorite part, so it was a bit disappointing. I can understand why you wouldn't like the climax, but I very much understand why you think the monster would be creepy. I heard people say the monster was kind of really weird and not very creepy to many, but I found it very disturbing. And that's one of the many reasons I absolutely love Ghost in the Mirror. Yes, this is one of my all-time faves. Now, to answer your question about the snake, it literally means nothing. It's just a typical Goosebumps twist. I'm not gonna shame you, it's just kind of weird that you didn't catch on. But yeah, the snake means absolutely nothing. It's just what Stine decided on to be the thing in the drawer, or whatever the hell it was at the end that was all so haunted. We're gonna review a couple TV books, well, whatever, just a bunch of reviews for the same one. Starting off with Cooper, the Goosebumps guy's review. 5 stars. Pretty cool. Cooper, pretty cool is not 5 stars. Isaac's review. 5 stars. Well, I think the Coca-Cola is a really good book. Oh, okay. I think he has special needs, not to be rude. Now here's our first review. 5 stars. Based on the TV series. I couldn't tell. Next, here's a review for Return to Ghost Camp. This one's by Glendy. 3 stars. This book is not a direct sequel to the original Ghost Camp. It's more of a standalone. Although I prefer the original Ghost Camp, this was still a fun, spooky read. There were some eerie, ghostly scenes that were creepy. I would have liked this book better if the ending would have been different and not too rushy. The ending of this book, which is the main reason why I wanted to include this review, is very abrupt. And it's kind of like the Blah Day Everyone episode where they save the day, bam, credits roll. This book, the kid crosses the river of the creepy hands, a fucking amazing scene. And he's like, I did it! And he's like, what do I do now? The end. It's literally just that. I did it! What do I do now? It's very quick. He finishes his goal, then he's just stranded there like, okay. I'm not going to go too in-depth on my other thoughts since I haven't reviewed this one yet, but let me say, this one's a very underrated Goosebumps book. This was a given. Here is our 5-star review of Chicken Chicken by Andrea. Cole and Crystal were afraid of Vanessa, the girl down the street. What was so strange about Vanessa? And does Crystal and Cole do something that they might regret? You must read this book if you want to find the answers to those questions and more. I love this book and haven't read a Goosebumps book in a while, so I had to laugh. That was pretty good. I found this one quite funny because they just recap the book and then give, like, the most basic thoughts. No offense, just, it's pretty goofy. Yeah, I'm glad they enjoyed this one, because this is the community's punching bag. So, guys, there's a lot more 5-star reviews than you think for this book. Go check it out. I think that's, like, the second most popular rating for the book. I'm not even kidding. Next up, a review for Go Eat Worms by Goosebumps Enthusiast. 4 stars. After all the negative things I have heard about this book, I was on my toes. Okay. But then I read it, and now it's one of my favorites. Now, this is a book that not a lot of people like, myself included, mostly because it's just very bland and basic and kind of annoying when it comes to its main character, as well as just not a great story to many. I am glad they enjoyed it. I have no idea who they are, this little dweeb, I mean, this great and very respectable person. But yeah, it's one of the only 4 stars I've ever seen for Go Eat Worms. To cap off the reviews today, we have a review of Mantua 2, and a semi-long one at that. And this one is by Ken, the Barbie. I'm joking. 2 stars. We're gonna skip all that blurb stuff. I liked how this follow-up story was a direct sequel from the first book, but with the main plotline heavily featuring animal growing to a large size, it does feel very repetitive. There's some slight continuity errors too. Not as good as the first, but Cuddles the hamster is a great addition to the series. First off, 2 stars is low. He sounded like he enjoyed this book a lot more, but I'm guessing maybe it's like a 5.5, like borderline 3 stars, but whatever, 5.5 out of 10, I mean. Now, first off, Cuddles. They are not one of the big plot points, alright? The main plot line heavily features an animal growing to a large size. No, the plot is actually, and I'm going to assume you maybe read this and then forgot to review it. The plot is actually about Evan trying to get the monster back from Conan throughout one of the book. Now, that isn't the main plot, since it's kind of all over the place throughout the book, but basically the first 100 pages of the book is Andy arrives with monster blood, shit happens, nothing involving growing animals. Yeah, that's false. I thought it was pretty funny, and that's the main reason included, is because that is just not true. It's almost like you didn't read the book. Not saying they didn't, I think they definitely might have dementia, because that is not actually the plot. It is in the final 20 pages, though. And I want to mention, yes, there are continuity errors, and I don't think they're even slight. If you read this one and the first Monster Blood back-to-back, it doesn't make any sense, because the first Monster Blood, it had a spell on it, and then in this book, Monster Blood is literally just a fucking toy that you can buy at, like, a store. And whilst that wasn't the first one had a spell involved. The second one, it's just the way it is. Monster Blood's Monster Blood. It doesn't make sense. Amongst other things, like, how the hell did Andy get here so coincidentally? Yeah, I agree with the rating, pretty much. And that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. It's actually one of my longer ones as of late. And if you guys want to see more things like this, you can watch my Reading Decent's movie reviews, or you can maybe ask for it. If people really want it, I will talk about the 2023 show next, and then probably go to Goosebumps 2. And maybe I'll even talk about the 90s show reviews. I'll just look them over and kind of get my thoughts on what they say, and show some pretty goofy ones that I was able to find. Because they were kind of hard to find. It took me an hour. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.